Hey everyone, so I am at the moment logging a load of footage we shot last week for a whole load of new videos that I'm making. And I came across this clip that shows a very specific technique that I've sort of talked to various clients about over the last few weeks. And I've never had a really good clip to show it off. And this one is just perfect. So I thought, why don't I share it with the rest of you? Let's start. This is a toe to heel gybe, kite to 12, loop the kite. I'm on an 11-meter breeze, single strut. It's probably 15, 16 knots, so I'm reasonably powered. And the key part of this that I want to talk about is this stage here where I start to loop the kite. So kite's at 12 o'clock, and what we're going to look at is this next stage here. This is the bit I'm interested in. Okay. So, and it's going to be this part here. So I'm going to zoom in on the bar. And what I think is really interesting, this shows really well, is this bit here. Okay. See what my hands are doing. Boom. And what happens to that line. So I think you can all see really easily that the depower or trim line, which is normally straight, has now got a big kink in it. Okay, so I've pushed the bar down. You know, normally what do we do with our bar? We put it towards the chicken loop or we push it away from the chicken loop. That's kind of like the normal thing. We pull each end of the bar as well individually to turn the kite. Here what I'm actually doing is I'm pushing the bar away with both hands, and that's allowing me to apply pressure to that center line and shift my my center of mass in many ways, and to alter my balance on the board. The kite's really high at the moment and it's not generating huge amounts of power, and I'm halfway through a carve and I need some extra balance. So I use this technique in this particular situation to help with that. So by doing this, you can now see that even though my kite's really high in the sky, the part of the chicken loop that I'm leaning back against is actually directly away from me. So I can lean back against it. If it was really high, I'd have to kind of sit on it. So I'm kind of pushing down and away, and then I can actually push my body back against that and kind of like get nice and steady. By having that sort of stability in my body, it allows me to be a lot more stable on the foil, because in this, particularly in something like a gybe, in that middle section, quite often you are riding the foil and the kite is not really doing a huge amount. So to be able to get yourself nice and balanced really helps. If we shift forwards just a little bit as well to that kind of midpoint, I've talked about this before, but you know, we're always looking to try and get our weight, our center of mass, over the center of the board and foil. Okay. At this point here, I could probably say, you know what, I've got a bit too much weight over this side. I'm going around the corner, so I probably do need to be leaning in a little bit. But, you know, if we had too much of that and not enough power in the kite, we could very easily just skid upwind, or we could breach one side of the foil if we haven't got enough drive forwards. So by doing this sort of like pushing down with the bar and away from me, actually allows me to shift a little bit more of my body weight over that side, because the pressure on the kite is generating some pull over there, so it balances it out. So that's helpful as well. And also, if we actually look at this shot, which is from above, there's a really interesting point here that you can see in this section here. So let me just zoom in a little bit on this. So the kite's directly above, and there's that part where I'm pushing with my hand. So I'm not pushing the bar forwards and away from me, I'm actually pushing it over to my side. So the bar started over here, center of the bar, and now it's over here. So even though I'm heading in this direction, I'm pushing the bar actually that way. So my hands are pushing in this kind of direction. Yeah. Again, I'm trying to build tension. I'm trying to put that point that I want to lean back against and where I'm trying to generate some pull from the kite into a better position. Where is that position? This angle doesn't show it perfectly. If the kite was direct, if the camera was directly above, what we'd actually see is that this part of the kite, the bar here, where I'm kind of creating that pull point, is actually right over the front of the board. So off to one side, but forwards. That's the key thing. I've pushed the bar off to the side and forwards. And again, that is allowing me to do the classic thing, which is get way over the front of the board. So it's allowing me to get my center of mass a lot further forwards. We just know with foiling, weight forwards, increase that glide. Even when you're trying to go around a corner, we want our weight forwards. So we're pushing forwards, gliding, gliding, gliding. So, what does this all mean? Well, as I said before, you're possibly doing this anyway. And what I want you to be able to do now when you go on the water the next time is do a down loop jibe and see if you're doing this technique. Maybe you're not doing it quite as extreme as I am. And if not, then try and push a little bit harder, push it a bit more to the side. Maybe that will help you a little bit more. Maybe that will get you out of some little trouble that you have where you nearly go to crash and then you think, oh, I'll push it over there. Oh, actually that solves that problem and I can get away with it. I find it super helpful actually in a real range of conditions, whether I'm powered up or underpowered. You know, we're in a really 3D state with what we can do with the bar. Don't just think that the bar's this thing that you're doing this with the whole time. You can push it over there and down low and shift that point of pull quite a lot, because we don't have the same amount of pull that you might do on a twin tip. And so you can actually shift your lines around a hell of a lot more. You'll also find this really helpful. I do it a lot when I'm surfing. If you watch guys kite surfing, riding waves, you'll see them leaning into the bar quite a lot and moving it around in that similar kind of way, because quite often the kite is drifting into a certain position where there isn't huge amount of lines tension, and so you can shift the bar to get it into a different position and again change that pull, change that tension, change where your body mass is positioned and where it's getting pulled from. So there you go. Push down into the bar. Give it a go. Let me know how you get on.